Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Russell Field in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity girls rugby contest between the hosting Falcons of the Cambridge Rindge and Latin School and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. We have not started this game off just yet. Originally, this game was slated to start at 6:30. And, well, to be quite frank, luckily for me, they're not starting on time. And I say luckily for me because my dumb butt got stuck in traffic trying to come out here. These night games, they'll send you straight into rush hour. And unfortunately, I didn't execute my game plan to get here on time all that well, but I have lucked out and the game has not started yet. I'm not entirely sure why. You know, I hope everything is in order and we will get this game started. Some slight concerns since last year when these two teams were scheduled to face off. That game ended up being a forfeit win for Brookline. 10-0 is the official forfeit score. And, well, Cambridge, I believe they did lose their most recent game via forfeit to Weymouth. Again, that same 10-0 official score that they give to forfeits. So we're really hoping that this game will happen. In the meantime, I'm going to fill in the roster for Brookline here. So just pardon me a little bit. I'm going to go quiet. I'm not going to turn off the mic or anything, but I am going to go a little quiet for a bit while I fill things in. I appreciate your patience. right, I've filled in the roster for Brookline. Just didn't have time to get one for Cambridge. Like I said, I was running a little late today. But got the starting lineup for Brookline. So while we wait for things to hopefully come into place that we can play this game, I'm going to go through the roster for Brookline. And if anyone is here watching rugby for the first time, one important thing to note for rugby is that jersey numbers are actually assigned when the lineup is decided, because the jersey numbers correspond to a specific position that you play on the field. So we'll be going through roster number and position here. Starting for the Brookline Warriors, going in order of jersey number, first off, we have number 1, the loose head prop, Nye Azzi. Next, number 2, the hooker, Brooke Bottiglieri. Number 3, the tight head prop, Aurora Charbonneau. Numbers 4 and 5, who both play a position either known as the second row or the lock, Lila Hoffman wearing number 4 and Maisie Wilson wearing number 5. Next, the 2 flankers, number 6, Ivy Wheeler, and number 7, Molly Engeland. Next, number 8, which corresponds with a position simply known as the number 8, Etta Reed. Next, number 9, the scrum half, Polly Merlis. Number 10, the fly half, Kathy Merlis. The 2 wings, number 11, Caroline Hughes, and number 14, Izzy Pice. Next, number 12, the inside center, Zaira Johnson. Next, the outside center, number 13, Meredith Christ. And finally, number 15, the fullback, Ellie Haberkern. The listed subs for Brookline, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get jersey numbers for the subs, so I might just have to narrate them by jersey number. But the subs listed for Brookline for today, Zoe Arthur, Mia Salam, Aitana Puertas, Adriana Oviedo, Anita Marquez, Ari Horberg-Decter, Remy Fell, and Sophie Treacy. The coaches of the Brookline High girls rugby team are Neva Taylor and Jenny Laferriere. So that is the full roster for Brookline. As I said, I don't have numbers for Brookline's subs, and I don't have names to correspond with the numbers of any of the Cambridge players, so I'm just going to be narrating them by their jersey number for the play-by-play commentary. We see Brookline over here on our left with their white jerseys with dark blue stripes and red jersey numbers. Over on the right, we see Cambridge with their black jerseys with white jersey numbers. And one thing I'm a little grateful for is that I think the jersey numbers here for the girls are actually going to be a little easier to read than when I was covering the boys team last week. I mean, first off, it's going to be easier just because I'm at a field that has bleachers. Brookline plays their home games at Skyline Park. And for those of you who've been there or who have watched any of my streams there, you know, no bleachers, no elevation. I'm shooting from field level, which is already a tougher view for trying to spot players and jersey numbers and all that. But then the boys have jerseys, their stripes are not only thicker, but they're diagonal. And so it can be very obstructing of the jersey numbers. And I was getting jersey numbers mixed up all day that game last week for the boys, which, you know, I was bummed out about because you got, if you've watched my streams before, you know I like to give these student athletes the best coverage I can. And to me, part of that does mean accurately representing what's going on the field, getting players' names right, identifying players based on their jersey numbers correctly, all that jazz. I want to do it to the best of my ability, and so it bums me out a little bit when I can't do it all that well. But I think I should be able to do a better job today with the higher elevation and the clearer jersey numbers with those bright red numbers. Oh, we're still waiting to get this one going. Not sure what we're waiting for. Maybe we're waiting for an official to show up. Maybe they had trouble getting an official out here. Again, Cambridge Rindge has had its fair share of logistical problems with girls rugby over the past couple of years. As I said, their most recent game against Weymouth, they had to forfeit. And their game against Brookline last year, they had to forfeit. And last year, in 2024, they lost all but one of their 6 regular season games last year via forfeit. Identical 10-0 scores for 5 of their 6 games. The one game they were able to play against Algonquin here at Russell, they lost that one 56-0. And they did. Cambridge did play Algonquin again in a proper season opener this year. Lost that one 35-15 before the forfeit loss to Weymouth, which has them coming into this game with an 0-2 record. Brookline entering this contest with a 1-1 record. They lost their opener to Weymouth 24-20, and then defeated Algonquin by an astounding score of 52-7. And what makes it so astounding is that's the exact score that Algonquin beat Brookline by last year. Brookline lost to Algonquin 52-7 last season, but Brookline completely flipped the script on them this year, which is a promising sign for the progress of this Brookline girls rugby program. Last year, the Warriors went 3-4 in the regular season, just missed out on a playoff spot, as not a lot of playoff spots to go around in girls rugby, not a lot of teams here in the MIAA for girls rugby. One of those sports that still, has a lot of growing to do. Not as mainstream of a sport, but there's always room for things to grow. For those of you who follow my live streams in some other less than mainstream sports, this is what I always say. It takes time for, teams and programs to build things up in a less than mainstream sport. And so you get, a lot of sports and leagues where there are dominant powerhouse schools that just win everything, and then, the new schools come in and they get blown out a lot while they're still building things up, but then eventually you can get to the point where you can have a lot of competitive teams and you can have a lot more competitive parity. So hopefully that kind of landscape is on the horizon for the sport of girls rugby here in Massachusetts. But in the meantime, our wait continues. Well, during this wait, I'm going to optimistically encourage you to share the link for this live stream with anyone you know that you think might want to watch this game. In the hopes that that this game will be getting started soon enough, as I think we might still be waiting for an official. Not sure. And then, as always, I encourage audience participation. Any comments you would like to leave, I encourage you to leave them either in the live chat here on YouTube or to send me an email if you're not comfortable or not able to access the YouTube live chat. You can see my email in the bottom right corner of your screen. And you can also see my email and all those links in the bottom right corner of your screen. You can see them down in the description section down below. And also down in the description section, you can find the link and phone number for our local charity spotlight for today, the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The food pantry has been serving an average of 650 households each week, and they are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand, whether that be through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish at 210 Harvard Street in Coolidge Corner on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monetary donations can be made online at the food pantry's website, brooklinefoodpantry.org. Go online or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can volunteer with the pantry and help feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. And once again, that information down in the description section down below. I don't know. I mean, maybe if they do that, they'd probably have to make it like an unofficial scrimmage or something, and still put it down as a forfeit. I would imagine, but man, that's so awful. Well, we're still just hoping that whatever ref is supposed to officiate this game is stuck in traffic or something. Traffic was, like I said, pretty awful coming out here, rush hour and everything. It's a bit rough. Oh, I heard some applause from the fans. I think a ref just showed up. I see him. I see the ref in the green shirt right there. Praise be to those who wear the whistles around their necks. It seems like we are going to have a game here, folks. Starting about about a half hour late, you know. You know what? It seems like we're going to have a ball game, and that's all I could ask for. And you could hear how happy the crowd was at the official's arrival. I think this is going to sound awful, but I think that's the loudest I've ever heard students cheer for an official in all my years covering high school sports. But you know what? This is why, for those who have followed some of my streams throughout various different sports throughout the years, one of my mantras is that you got to respect the officials because without them, the game doesn't happen. And I think today is a perfect example of that. You know, if we don't have the officials, the game doesn't happen. I know sometimes the officials, they're going to be human, they're going to miss calls, or they're going to make a call you disagree with. They're going to have a different view from what you have, either up in the stands or watching these live streams at home. But you know what? These officials, especially at the high school level, they're not doing this for a lot of money. They're probably doing this as a part-time gig while also working a full-time job. It can be very thankless work, and it's completely necessary for these games to happen at all. So be sure to thank your local official whenever you get the chance. That's my brief soapbox moment for the day. As the teams are getting set to go, Cambridge Falcons, last year they had some trouble getting a full team together for their games, but today they seem like they have enough players. I think they got a full 15 at least out there. And now that we've got an official, we should be ready to get this game started soon. We play two halves in rugby. Just a reminder of the basics. And remember, if a rugby player gets the ball into the opposing, well, I guess this is a football field, so I guess you could call it end zone, but it's actually called the try zone, or the in-goal area in rugby, because in rugby you don't score a touchdown, you score what's called a try. And while a touchdown in football is worth 6 points, a try in rugby is worth 5 points. And then afterwards they kick an attempted what's called a conversion, and a successful conversion is worth 2 points. So in the end, a score and a successful kick is still worth 7 in rugby, as it is in football, but it's a 5-2 division rather than a 6-1 division like it is in American football. Just for anyone who is watching rugby for the first time, maybe you're tuning in to watch a family member or a friend and support them, and you haven't watched the sport before. I know for everyone who's watched rugby before, they're like, yeah, dummy, that's the basics. I know that. But you know what? Not everybody who tunes into these live streams is as familiar with the sport. And like I said, this isn't as mainstream a sport here in America as some others. So I think, sometimes it can be good to cover the basics, especially when you're filling time on a late starting game. They finish the meeting at midfield with the official. And I believe the teams are going to huddle up one last time, and then we will get this one underway. So another couple of basic rules. Because we got time, I'll go over a little bit. First off, as I'm sure everyone, even those who haven't really watched rugby before, I'm sure you know, no forward passes in this game. It's all laterals and runs. But what's also important to know is that if you get tackled in rugby, the play doesn't stop. What happens is that they get into kind of a position that's, if I'm not mistaken, that is known in rugby as a ruck. And what that means is that the player that got taken down, stays down on the ground, stays lying down, but tries to hand the ball back to a teammate. While they're doing that, two of their teammates will typically jump in front of them to block the opposing players. The opposing players have to be on the other side and try and push through if they want to try and get to the ball. Otherwise, because they can't start from behind the player with the ball, because that would be offside, sort of similar to how you can't just stand next to the quarterback in American football, otherwise that would be offsides. So that's what's called a ruck, and so when a player gets taken down, it doesn't mean the defense is done, and it doesn't even mean the play is done. The play keeps going, and so then the team with the ball will take the handoff from the player that got taken down out of the ruck, and then they'll start, whatever play, whether they run with it or lateral it backwards, whatever it may be, to try and advance the ball. And then another big critical difference is that when a team scores a try, the other team is actually the one that kicks it off. Which, again, for anyone who's only watched American football, that sounds backwards as anything. Because typically when your opponent scores, you want to get the ball back. But in rugby, field position is everything. And when you kick off, you send it towards your opponent's end, which is towards the area where you want to score. And so even though your opponent has the ball, they're in a tough position because they have to try and move the ball while only being able to throw it backwards all the way across the field. Field position is so critical in this sport, and that is why the rule is the way it is. We're setting up now. 35 minutes on the clock for the first of two halves here at Russell Field in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Warriors versus Falcons. Here we go. The drop kick is short, picked up by the Falcons. Number 3 tosses it back, juggled a bit, but picked up by number 2, who gets taken down. And now we go into that ruck position that I was talking about. Number 9 tosses it back to number 1. Another extra toss to 13. Toss dropped, but picked up off the ground. The Falcons still maintain control as they head down the far side. They're running out of room. They don't want to go out of bounds. I think they just went out of bounds. And so that's actually going to be a side in for Brookline. So Brookline gets to throw it in because it operates similar to soccer or basketball rules, where the team that last touched it out of bounds gives up the ball. So Brookline getting ready for the side in. And you'll see another kind of unique thing to rugby, which is they kind of climb the ladder, as you can see there, for the side in there. They throw it to Molly Engeland, and now some quick tossing out to the right. They continue tossing and run into the pile there. Out of the ruck. A toss from number 9, Polly Merlis, and now trying to break through the middle. An extra toss to number 1, Nai Azzi, as she drags it a few extra yards. Great extra toss while being taken down as Brookline works it out to the far side. Cutting around, trying to stay in bounds. Good efforts there. I couldn't quite see, but I think it was number 11, Caroline Hughes on that one. More quick tossing from Brookline. They're getting very close to the try zone. Taking down the ball, ripped away out of the ruck by the Falcons. And Cambridge takes it back deep in their own end. Number 2, the extra toss disrupted. Knocked to the floor, and we've got a whistle now by the official. So a violation was called. So the two teams are going to set up in what is known as a scrum. This is what rugby is pretty famous for. Everybody locks arms, and they all try and push forward to get to the ball. But the team that inserts the ball is usually the team that gets it, because they just have to kick the ball. Because their arms are all interlocked, they can only use their feet. They're going to kick the ball back, typically to the player that inserted it. Locked in, Brookline to insert. And a lot of players go to the ground there, and a violation on the scrum. Might try and zoom this in just a smidge more, just so you guys can get a better view at home. So we're going to reset in the scrum here. Brookline to insert once again. Ball's kicked back successfully. Quick toss to number 12, Zaira Johnson. Another couple of tosses. Oh, that missed wide. Number 23 trying to dive on it and gets it, keeps it in the ruck. Brookline maintains possession. They move to the left now. Brooke Bottiglieri, number 2, taken down fast, but Brookline still maintaining possession. Couple quick tosses. I believe this is number 3 trying to break through, find a hole. Aurora Charbonneau. Strong move there. More quick tosses out to the left. They got an opening, but the ball was dropped. Picked up. Number 10, Kathy Merlis, bursting forward. Deep in the opposing end. Brookline trying to get that last push through. Toss back to Johnson. Johnson shaking off a couple tackles. Zaira Johnson heading in. And she's got the try. Zaira Johnson, the inside center, with the successful try there. Let's check out the instant replay on that one. You can see just shaking off a couple of tackles, just breaking through. Grade A toughness there by Zaira Johnson to get through for the try. So Brookline puts 5 points on the board, and now the conversion attempt is short, goes underneath the crossbar on the attempted kick from Caroline Hughes, number 11. So Brookline first on the board. They take a 5-0 lead off the try from Zaira Johnson. And we've got a note in the live chat from someone who I think is a member, either a member of this team or an alum, not here today, Isabella Barabasi, saying, yes, good line out, and yes, Zaira, celebrating the successful try there. Brookline with a 9-0, 9-0, oh my goodness, 5-0 advantage. As here comes the kick from Cambridge's number 10. This is a deep kick going way down deep and juggled, almost lost along the sideline, but it is picked up by Kathy Merlis. Brookline's got a long way to go. They're going to have to go the full length of the field. Quick toss, Charbonneau barrels forward, taken down. Out of the ruck, more quick tossing. Again, Brookline just working it inside, trying to get the surefire yards that they can muscle through for. Great push there. I didn't quite see who, as now Brookline is going to drop kick it. Smart play to move it out of their own backyard there as they created enough distance with those initial couple of pushes to leave some room for a toss back to a player that would have enough room to kick that ball away. So now we're going to have a side-in throw for the Falcons. So now the Falcons going to be trying to do that climb the ladder play on the side-in throw. And the throw deflected, but Cambridge does recover it. A low toss there. Ball goes to the ground, but it is picked up by the Falcons. Pushing forward there, I believe, was number 10 for Cambridge. Into the ruck, couple quick tosses. Number 4 gets wrapped up quick, goes for the extra toss. Couple extra tosses. Number 1 tries. It's short, it's juggled, and Brookline's going to fall on it. But a whistle is blown. And I believe we're going to go into the scrum here. Just under 22 minutes on the clock here in the first half. Brookline leading 5-0 off the try from Zaira Johnson. And folks, if there are any Brookline fans here who notice me messing up the pronunciation of any names, I encourage you to correct me in the live chat. Want to give these young ladies the best coverage I possibly can, and to me, part of that does mean pronouncing their names correctly. And we got a whistle here as they're probably going to try and set up a second time in the scrum. Brookline to insert in the scrum here. Brookline gets it back. Quick toss from Polly Merlis to Kathy Merlis. That toss misses the fullback, number 15, Ellie Haberkern, but Brookline maintains control in the ruck there. Oh, and it's actually going to be a free ball for Brookline. They're just going to take off running or not. Polly Merlis was trying to run with the ball there. Might not have given Cambridge enough time to get set. Set up for the free ball again, and again, Merlis just going to run with a quick toss. Barreling forward was number 7, Molly England, I believe. Again, Brookline working it to the right. And they're heading close to the sideline. Quick toss there. Smart play, as I think they got it to Johnson that time. Out of the ruck, toss back. I think that's Charbonneau barreling forward. As now out of the ruck once again, more quick tossing, this time going to the right. They keep working it. Back, and a whistle. One important thing to note is number 23 for Brookline was not listed on the roster I was given, so if anyone knows who number 23 is, again, I encourage you to let me know in the live chat, but we're going to have another scrum here. As the ref blew the whistle, looks like this one's going to be advantage Cambridge. So they called the violation on Brookline there. Maybe a toss that wasn't backwards or something. So there's a lot of close proximity tosses there. The Falcons, number 9, set to insert this one. Here we go, kicked back. Number 9 takes it, toss back to 10, who boots it across midfield, deep into the Brookline end, and they're putting on the Jets to get the ball, and they got the ball. Cambridge with a huge play on the free kick, and they're trying to make something happen, but the toss there was juggled. Number 1 does collect it, get it back to 6, and 6. Oh, wait, I think they're going to call the violation there because the pass was dropped. That's right. When a pass is dropped, when a pass is not completed, that results in a violation call, and that results in a scrum. I hope you'll forgive me for my slight lacking in understanding of rugby. It's a sport I'm not as familiar with as other sports, but I promise I'm going to try my best as I always do. So that drop toss there is going to give Brookline the advantage in the scrum here. They're going to be the ones to insert. And they're very lucky to get that break there as Cambridge sent players sprinting down there to disrupt the ball after that drop kick by number 10. And I think we got a false start there on the scrum, so they're going to reset. Izzy Barabasi helping me out once again in the live chat, letting me know that number 23 is probably Zoe Arthur. Thank you very much, Izzy. I really appreciate your help in the live chat today. So for now, I am going to say that number 23 is Zoe Arthur, as she was one of the listed possible subs for Brookline today. Here we go off the insert, kicked back. Polly Merlis tosses it. And an extra toss there from Johnson. And barreling forward. Good advance there by Brookline. As again, they work it to the left. An extra toss is falling on the floor, and that's going to be a scrum advantage, Cambridge. Just over 22 minutes on the clock here in the first half. Brookline leading 5-0. Number 9 to insert for the Falcons. Kicked back, and ball was almost lost, but number 8 with the heads-up pickup out of the scrum for Cambridge as they keep the ball. But free ball given to Cambridge there off of whatever that whistle was. Number 10 running with it, shakes off a couple of tacklers. Now gets taken down. They line up in the ruck. Cambridge deep in Brookline territory here, and we've got another whistle. Oh, I think they're saying Cambridge went too fast on the free ball there, so they're going to line up again. Number 10, toss to number 2, trying to barrel forward, dragged down. Cambridge deep in the Brookline end here, inside the 10, and a quick takedown there by, I believe, Azzy. Toss back to 2-2, stripped of the ball, but I think she fell on it as the ref fell over in the chaos of this play. Boy, it's a rough and tumble sport no matter what color shirt you're wearing, whether you're the home team, the away team, or the official. So now we're going to set up in the scrum. Looks like advantage Cambridge. Okay, they're going to insert from the left. Number 9 rolls it in. And it's kicked back to 8, but a whistle is blown. Brookline very fortunate the whistle came there as number 8 had a clear path to the try zone there. Going to try again out of the scrum. Number 9 inserts for the Falcons again. What the heck? What is going on? I don't hear, now I hear a whistle. A little bit of confusion here. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get this done for real. Yes, we can. 9 tosses back to 10. Nice juke, cuts around, finds the hole, and finds the try. Number 10 for Cambridge ties us up at 5 apiece with a slick juke move after the initial toss, and then just barreled her way through a couple defenders. And now the conversion attempt will decide whether the Falcons take the lead or if this will be a tie. And number 10 has a pretty good distance to work from here. You see, conversion kicks are taken from a parallel spot to where the try was scored. So you see number 10 scored about the middle of the field horizontally, so that's where she's kicking from. But just like, you know, from about the 5-yard line. And slices the kick wide, no good. So we're all tied up at 5 apiece. And now Brookline will set up to kick it away with about 11.5 minutes on the clock here in the first half. There's the drop kick. Snagged by number 10. Stiff arms one, stiff arms another. And drags the ball forward across the 40. Picked up by 9 out of the ruck. Tossed back. Number 2 shakes off one tackler. And barreling forward, Brookline trying to rip the ball out, but could not as she went to the ground. Now number 1 running with it. Gets the toss back to number 4. A bit of a perilous toss. That one handed back and lost. Picked up off the floor by number 7. And now more tossing down to the left. Gets to 14. 14 trying to juke and drags a tackler a little bit as we go back into the ruck. And it looks like they're calling for, I've been calling it side out, it's called the line out. So it's going to be a line out, Brookline to toss it in. Number 2, Brooke Bottiglieri to toss this one. Little under 16 minutes on the clock here in the first half. Is a nice toss there. The pass taken off the bounce by Bottiglieri herself as she cuts towards the middle. Cutting to the outside, a toss back to Kathy Merlis, who shakes off one tackler, barrels forward, gets across the 40, and down into the ruck. And a defensive player, I think, was offsides there for Cambridge. They couldn't get up fast enough. This will be a free ball for Brookline, and kicked it out of her own hands. And again, I think team with the ball was moving a little too fast. Or no, Brookline called for the violation, just rushed it a bit. The thing is, your foot has to touch the ball on those free balls, so either you kick it away or you just tap it with your foot and then take off running with it. And that time, the Brookline player tapped it with her foot and tapped it a little too hard and knocked it out of her own hands. So now, because of that violation, this will be a scrum inserted by the Falcons. And the ball does get back to number 9, but a whistle is blown. And they give it back to Brookline, another free ball. As Johnson boots a line drive, juggled but caught by Cambridge along the far sideline. Johnson not able to get it out of bounds to set up a line out. Brookline does appear to have taken the ball back there. And we got another whistle. "14 minutes to go here in the first half. All tied up at 5 apiece, a tight score here in Cambridge. Players setting up in the scrum. Brookline inserts for the scrum, kicked back. Polly Merlis tosses it out to Johnson. Johnson, quick tossing. They get it out to the wing, I believe. I believe it's Caroline Hughes, extra toss. And another extra toss. This is Zoe Arthur heading down the near sideline, taken down, but lost the ball. Couldn't hold on to it in the ruck, and it's taken away by number 10 for Cambridge. The Falcons working in a tight space, but stiff-arming through multiple tacklers is number 2. Cambridge simply out-muscling Brookline in some of these 50-50 spots here. Number 8 trying to run them over, but gets taken down into the ruck. Brookline tried to dive over to take that ball away. And it's... okay, they got to stop, got to get set before the free ball. Number 10 with the ball for Cambridge. I now see another number I don't recognize, number 25 for Brookline, as 10 goes for the drop kick. Off the bounce, couple bounces picked up by Johnson, who jukes out one, now gets taken down quickly into the ruck. Out of it, Polly Merlis, a toss. Barreling ahead, barreling over a couple of players is Nye Azzy, who finally gets taken down, and a whistle is blown. Azzy comes up hopping a little bit, but it looks like she's walking it off. A yellow card assessed to the Falcons for what must have been an illegal takedown. Number 8 coming off the field. I don't think I see anyone checking in. Is this going to be like a power play or something? Is Brookline going to have one player advantage? Polly Merlis chases back, and a breakaway run from Aurora Charbonneau, who gets taken down by the last line of defense, but Brookline advancing. Now this is Azzy, stood up and brought down. Now a toss back, Kathy Merlis, now out to Zoe Arthur. Arthur juking around a couple. Arthur finally brings it down in the ruck, drops it on the ground. Polly Merlis toss back, and a quick takedown by Cambridge's number 2. Brookline keeps possession. They work it to the left. And now taking off with it is Aurora Charbonneau going in, and she's in for the try. I do believe that was Aurora Charbonneau, number 3. Barreled through for that one. I'm going to try and check the replay, see if I can. Yes, number 3, Aurora Charbonneau with the try that time. Found the hole, burst through it. And Brookline takes back the lead 10-5. 10 minutes left in the half. As Caroline Hughes going to attempt the conversion. You can see she's further out left because that's where Charbonneau scored from. So it's going to be more of a distance at this sideways angle. Kick from Hughes. Just under. Hughes almost got that one, but no dice. And a big successful try from the tight head prop, Aurora Charbonneau. Puts Brookline in the lead 10-5. Except apparently the roster has been changed according to Izzy Barabasi in the live chat, as apparently Zaira Johnson is at 10, Nye Azzy is at 3, and Aurora is at 1. So that was Nye Azzy who scored that one. And number 25 looks like Ari Horberg Dector. There's a tough thing about rugby is if there are any last-minute changes to the lineup, then I just end up calling the wrong name the whole game. The kick out to the far side goes out of bounds. It'll be a line out. So if that's the case, if Zaira Johnson is number 10, then maybe Kathy Merlis is number 12? In which case maybe she scored that one? Now I'm being told Meredith Christ is 12 when she was listed as 13. So it was... So the roster I was given was completely wrong. I'm trying, folks. I'm trying my best out here. Oh. I heard it was Zaira. Zaira.
There you go. Zaira's 10. Kathy Merlis is
Not here. Okay. So... So I'm getting some help from some very helpful fans out here, filling in some of the blanks for me. So, Zaira Johnson is 10. Kathy Merlis is not here. Meredith Christ is 12. Number 13 maybe isn't even out there. There's a couple players in the 20s out there. As Cambridge blocked on the attempted drop kick there. So, like I said, I'm going to do the best with what I have out here. I appreciate any corrections that anyone can give me here. As Brookline running with it now out of the free ball. A toss back. Now it's Aurora Charbonneau, number 1. Running with it. Now a couple of tosses back. And into the ruck. Brookline tossing it back. Quick tossing. That's Arthur tossing it further to the outside. They go out to Dector. Dector dragging some tacklers down that near sideline and gets brought down. Couple quick tosses. Johnson tosses to Bottiglieri. Bottiglieri tries to hand it back, but decides to go down to keep ball security there. Quick toss from Polly Merlis. Back to Johnson. Johnson trying to break through. No dice there. But Brookline getting close. Toss back. This is Azzy. Gets taken down by number 2. Brookline trying to inch forward, trying to get in. Toss back to Haberkern. An extra toss to the outside. Looking for that extra toss, opts to just go down inside the 5-yard line. Now a long toss back, quick move to the right, and a quick tackle by Cambridge holds them off. Just over 5 minutes to go here in the half. Quick tossing from Brookline, breaking through is, I think, is that Azzy or Bottiglieri? Either way, in for the try. Going to take a look at that one. It's either number 3, Nye Azzy, or number 2, Brooke Bottiglieri. And it's Nye. It's Nye Azzy with her second successful try of the day. I'm able to call her name correctly this time. Now that I know what's what. And now a more straightaway kick. As this one put through. And so Caroline Hughes, number 11, successful. And you can see the big difference that scoring in the middle of the field as opposed to along the sides makes, as that was a much easier kick for the wing and number 11, Caroline Hughes, as Brookline now leads 17-5. 2 tries from Nye Azzy and 1 from Meredith Christ. here in the first half for Brookline. Caroline Hughes, successful on 1 of 3 conversion attempts, has given Brookline an additional 2 points. 17-5 now the score. Number 10 with the drop kick. Taking off the bounce, running ahead with it. I think this is Bottaglieri. Cuts through and taking off with it and taken down around midfield. My mistake, that's Christ. Meredith Christ with a big return there. Out of the ruck, Polly Merlis, quick toss, and now breaking away with it is Nye Azzi again. Azzi spins off one tackle, continuing to drag them, goes down inside the 35. Nye Azzi, what a performance she's having today as Brookline working it out to the left, juking to the outside was Zoe Arthur. Taken down into the ruck. They're inside the 30 now. Brookline working upfield fast. Pushing it forward inside the 25 now. Less than 3 minutes to go before halftime. As we got a whistle against Brookline, and that's going to be a free ball for Cambridge. This kick flies out of bounds, and that'll be a line out. Or will it? Yes, it will. Okay, they're just lining up for it. Again, my thanks both to the fans here who are helping me out with some player identification and to the MVP in the live chat for this stream, Izzy Barabasi, letting me know that the yellow card forced the Cambridge player to sit out for 10 minutes, and you can see what a difference that's been making here as Brookline has been scoring in a fury late here in the first half. Cambridge with the ball now. Couple of tosses, they work to the left, a couple of stiff arms, and still on her feet, but running out of room. Number 12 managed to stay in bounds. Oh, but she stepped out. She stepped out over the near sideline. It was such a big run, but now it's going to be a line out for Brookline. That is tough. Tough luck for Cambridge's number 12. She was off to such a big run there. Bottaglieri to throw in the line out. And they don't even climb the ladder for it. Just a long throw to Aurora Charbonneau, who takes off running. Gets to about the 35. Out of the ruck, it's tossed by Polly Merlis. Polly Merlis back to Johnson, now back to Christ. Christ running to the left. And stiff arms and barrels forward past the 30. Hand back, Merlis, toss to Johnson. More quick tosses. Cutting through the middle is Azzi. Azzi breaks free. Nye Azzi one to beat, and she runs her over. Nye Azzi with her 3rd try of the day. Nye Azzi bursting through like a cannonball once again as she sheds off that last potential tackler for her 3rd successful try. And this time I think I actually managed to identify the score correctly. So hey, I'm getting better. 22-5, the Brookline lead as that score comes right as the clock was about to hit 0 for the half. So Caroline Hughes going to get the chance to kick this one last conversion attempt, and then we'll go into the halftime break. And she drills it. Caroline Hughes finishes the first half 2 for 4 on her conversion attempts and gives Brookline 2 extra points as we will now go into halftime with the score, the Brookline Warriors 24, the Cambridge Falcons 5. And once again, the big performer for Brookline in that first half, Nye Azzi, the tight head prop, bursting through for 3 successful tries in that first half. The first one scored by Meredith Christ. And then Caroline Hughes with 2 successful conversions to give 4 extra points. During this halftime break, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The pantry has been serving an average of 650 households each week, and they are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand, whether through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish at 210 Harvard Street in Coolidge Corner on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monetary donations can be made online at the Food Pantry's website, brooklinefoodpantry.org. Go online or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can volunteer with the Food Pantry and help feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. And again, you can find that link and phone number in the description section down below. I'm going to take a brief break, take off my headset, but I will be back with the second half of this ball game. Stay tuned. All right. We're about ready to start the second half here at Russell Field in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Back on the mic, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, bringing you live coverage of today's high school varsity girls rugby contest between the Brookline High Warriors and the Cambridge Rindge and Latin School Falcons. Brookline with a 24-5 lead through the first half, led by 3 tries from Nye Azzi. And we'll see what the second half has in store for us. The drop kick from number 10 for Cambridge, picked up by Zoe Arthur, number 23. Running to the left, and now going down just past the 35-yard line, out of the ruck. We got to wrestle for the ball a bit. And I think they're going to say a violation on Cambridge's number 2 for going offsides on that one. And so a free ball for Brookline, and they're just going to boot it out of bounds to give themselves the line out. And this is a common strategy that you'll see rugby teams pull. It's because when you kick it out, your team still gets to throw in the line out. If you step out of bounds, then that's when you lose the ball. But if you kick it out, you keep it. Brooke Bottiglieri to throw in the line out. They climb the ladder, get it. And Molly England back to Polly Merlis, and now back and bursting forward with it is number 10, Zara Johnson. Now out of the ruck, Polly Merlis tosses it back, juggled a bit, but it is recovered, and a quick takedown there. And a whistle blown. And now it's going to be a free ball for Cambridge. Number 10, quick toss to number 2, who barrels forward close to the 30 on Brookline's side of the field. The Falcons starting to apply some offensive pressure here, but the ball knocked loose, and it's still knocked loose. Great defensive efforts from Brookline, led by, I believe, number 6, Ivy Wheeler on that play, and a pickup by Nye Azzi. Wheeler and Azzi, great defensive pressure to force that turnover there, but now a free ball back to Cambridge. Number 10 taking off running with it. Number 10, who scored Cambridge's only try in the first half, tosses it back. Number 2 breaking loose and getting inside the 15, but lost the ball. Or did she? No, she didn't. Cambridge keeps it a toss to number 14, who just has to fall on it as that toss slightly off the mark. Still Cambridge ball. And a quick hit there, but number 4 recovers it. Toss across number 2, stiff arms 1, and trying to run over a couple of defenders, but now they bunch together to try and take her down. Back into the ruck. A handoff back to number 10. Number 10, extra pitch to number 13, who gets stripped of the ball, and Brookline recovers it. Another big defensive hit by the Warriors. And this time, the whistle is going to put us into the scrum. I think it'll be an insert from Brookline. But Brookline deep in their own backyard here. They're going to be trying to move the ball out of this area. We'll see if they opt to do a drop kick to try and get it a little closer to midfield. But first, they got to get through the scrum. And immediately the players get knocked to the ground, and so we're going to have to start over. Inserted by Merlis. Merlis takes it, hands back, bursting forward, I believe, was Johnson there, taken down into the ruck. They're trying to create enough space to maybe drop kick this or see if they can burst ahead. They managed to get up to about the 20, a bit harder to see the jersey numbers now as we've gotten a little darker, but now a big kick upfield, and that's going to go out of bounds, give Brookline the line out. Actually, it looks like Cambridge is going to be throwing the line out here. So there must be some kind of rule there, maybe because it bounced inbounds before it went out. Maybe that's the reason. I am still learning, folks, but I'm going to try my best here as we got a whistle as that Line out throw got deflected by the Brookline defense, and now it's going to be a line out for Brookline. We've seen them go to a couple different spots in their lineouts. This time they go for a toss to Charbonneau. Charbonneau barreling forward. Out of it, a toss to Johnson. Toss out to, I believe, Arthur. Arthur hands it off, and now a cut inside by Caroline Hughes. She gets wrapped up, but gets the ball away and falling forward with it. Brookline keeps possession. Marlis toss. Bursting forward with it, I think, is Azzy. An extra handoff. And now Charbonneau taken down, but Marlis, another toss back. Johnson, another toss out to the far side. And now a cut back towards the middle. And wrapped up at around midfield as Brookline successfully gets it out of their own backyard. Out of the ruck, another set of quick tosses to the left. And finding a bit of a hole here. Going down with it. I think it might have been Azzy again, but now more quick tosses. Zoe Arthur gets taken down. But now in Cambridge territory, they're running out of room on this left side, though. Ivy Wheeler, smart to go down there and not go for the toss too close to the sideline. They got to work it back towards the middle. A fake and a takeoff by Bottiglieri. Now Bottiglieri goes down. Brookline still wants to work it a little bit more to the left, but we got a whistle here. And it's going to be a free ball for Brookline. Polly Marlis running with it. Lost the ball, got stripped by the Falcons. Whistle blown. And we're going into the scrum, advantage Cambridge. No scores from either side in the second half as of yet. We're about 7 minutes into this second frame. Still a 24-5 Brookline lead. Now Cambridge to insert in the scrum here. Kicked back quickly to number 9. Manages to get a quick toss back to 10, who drop kicks it across midfield. Racing back for it is Meredith Christ. She picks it up and cannot juke around the tacklers. She gets taken down inside the 30. Brookline trying to get back to get into the ruck. And now they try and work it to the left. And bit of a fight for the ball there, and it's going to be a violation on Cambridge. Free ball for Brookline. And they're going to try and take off running with it. Taken down just past the 40. And now a quick toss and a quick burst and a whistle. Oh, an injury whistle. We got an injured Brookline player down. So tough to see jersey numbers as it gets darker, so it's hard for me to identify. But we've got an injured Brookline player down being looked at by the training staff here. Like I said, rough and tumble sport rugby is. And standing up and walking off, it looks like it's number 12, Meredith Christ, but I'm not sure. So we got another sub coming in. And I might need some help identifying the new sub for Brookline. He's got a little less than 27 minutes on the clock. Hopefully that's temporary substitution. Hopefully Christ is okay. I mean, she was able to walk off on her own, so that's a good sign. Going to have a scrum, advantage Brookline out of the injury stoppage. Merlis to insert. Here we go. And they get it back to Merlis, who tosses to Johnson. Now to her left, a hole forming and bursting through that hole. Cross midfield. Now another quick toss. I think this is Dector. Bursting ahead, gets a big gain there out to about the 35. And now a tug of war for the ball out of the ruck. And it looks like we've got another injured Brookline player down, clutching her head. And out comes the trainer again. And boy, looking along the sidelines, I don't know how many players Brookline has out there to potentially sub in if players keep getting hurt. And when a player goes down holding their head, that's something you got to be really careful about. Got to be real careful with head injuries. But it looks like she's going to stay out there. And I think that's actually Zoe Arthur. I mistook 23 for 25 there. That was Zoe Arthur, who went down but gets back up and seems to be okay. Now it'll be a scrum insert for Cambridge. There's the insert, but it's almost stolen away by Merlis there, but they blow the whistle. So they're going to try again. All right, here we go. Now it gets back to 9, who tosses back quickly to 10. 10 taking off to her left. Couple extra tosses. Cutting towards the middle, cutting through a hole, moving to her right, making some space, and couldn't chop off the tackle there. A big gain from Cambridge's number 12 and a big stop by number 14, Izzy Pice. Number 5 comes out of it there, but gets tackled out of bounds. And this will be a line out with Brookline to throw. And again, I'm just going off of the lineup that I was given, so number 14 might be someone else, but I'm hoping I have it correct. Out of the line out, the toss goes to Johnson. Johnson bursting up the middle, taken down. And now a toss, fake to the right, they go to the left. Bottiglieri trying to cut through. Barrels forward, trying to hold on to the ball. And a whistle. I think they called a violation against Cambridge there. It's going to be a free ball for Brookline. Just under 23 minutes to go. Here in this one, still no score from either side in this second half. Toss goes to Azzy. Azzy barreling forward again. Nye Azzy once again, like a shot out of a cannon, barrels forward to the 15 And now out of the ruck, Brookline running out of room on the left side as Johnson cuts in, taken down. Now they move to their right, cutting towards the middle. Taken down, they are getting close. Toss to the outside, and the ball knocked free. A hard hit from Cambridge knocked that ball loose. And now Cambridge, or now a whistle rather. Just trying to see what the call is here. For the most part, we have a running clock in rugby similar to soccer. So all the time that we're trying to figure out what's going on here, that is more time ticking away as we got just over 21 minutes on the clock for this game. Okay, it's going to be a free ball for Cambridge. Positioned at about the 15. I wouldn't be surprised if they just kick it and try and kick it out of bounds. No, number 10 is going to try and run with it. A toss back, barreling forward, taken down. Into the ruck. So quick toss to the left and a quick takedown by the Brookline defense. Now they're working out to their left. They're running out of room. So hard to see on that far side as things get darker out here in Cambridge. And I think the ball did go out of bounds, so that's going to be a line out. And I think it's going to be tossed in by Brookline. Now Brookline throws it in. Complete. Quick tosses out to the left. And Ellie Haberkern couldn't quite collect that pass, and that whistle is going to give the ball to Cambridge, but they're playing through it. And now free ball to Brookline, so Zara Johnson takes off running with it, gets taken down at around the 20. Again, more confusion about what's going on here. Wait, is this ball what is happening? Everyone's confused. Oh, so the ref was marking that spot for the violation by Cambridge. So it was like a spot foul, basically. Brookline going to kick that one out, set themselves up for a line out. Just short of the try zone. Good precision kick there. Toss it in, and they just start trying to push. But we had a whistle and a signal towards Cambridge, so I think Cambridge and I don't know what. This has been a confusing few minutes here. But just under 12 minutes to go. And still, no one has scored anything in this second half. The defenses on both sides have really clamped down. Okay, we're setting up for a scrum. And looks like it's going to be Cambridge inserting. So Cambridge going to be trying to get it out of deep in their own end. Kick back, and now Cambridge tries a drop kick and barely gets it through. And it's dropped but picked up by Brookline, and a quick takedown there. As Brookline now trying to go on offense once again. Marlis toss back is dropped. Tough mistake there as, okay, the scoreboard clock has reset as now it's showing about 16 and a half minutes. It was showing under 12 minutes just a couple minutes ago, so that's been a little confusing. Long kick from Cambridge. Looks like it landed out for a line out for the Falcons in the Brookline area. Just past midfield. And this one knocked away by Brookline, and they take it away. Great reach by the Brookline defense there, as now cutting towards the middle. A toss from Marlis to Johnson. Johnson tossed it back to Marlis. Quick toss, Arthur. Another couple of quick tosses all the way to the outside. Pice running forward with it, taken down inside the 30. Brookline now going to try and work it back towards the middle. And they get it away. I believe that, I think that's Aurora Charbonneau, number 1, who is barreling forward with it there. Now a quick toss, Arthur. Arthur moving forward with it, quickly hands it back to Marlis, who tosses it to Johnson. Johnson carrying it herself towards the middle. Runs into a wall, gets taken down inside the 20, and we've got a whistle in Brookline's favor. A free ball for Brookline. Bottaglieri taking off with it fast. Bottaglieri pushing forward, taken down. Brookline getting close once again. Can they finish the job here for the first score of the second half? They cannot. Number 10 takes it out of the ruck there and boots it way upfield. Brookline picks it up and now taking off, running with it towards the middle. Going all the way from side to side here was Molly Engeland. Got the toss away, complete to Pice. Pice goes down. And a whistle there, and I think this is going to be advantage Cambridge on this violation. .14.5 on the clock here in the second half. And I believe we're going to set up in a scrum. I think it'll be Cambridge to insert. Number 9 inserts for the Falcons, and again almost taken away by Brookline, but they whistle it dead. Another insert kicked back. Number 9 could not quite pick it up. Disrupted there, I believe, by Wheeler, and another whistle, and we're going to try this one again. All right, another try. And Brookline takes it. They kick it out back to Marlis, and Brookline takes it away out of the scrum. And Brookline running down the right side, taken down. Another toss back. Johnson tossed to the outside. Just trying to stay in bounds. They get taken down around the 40. Now toss to, I believe, Bottiglieri. Quick takedown there. Brookline trying to move it upfield. Cambridge trying to play a little more aggressive, apply some more pressure. And a toss out to Izzy Pice. Pice trying to gain the sideline, taken down out of bounds. And it's going to be a line out for Cambridge. Oh, for Brookline. I'm sorry, I got mixed up. And the line out, disrupted by Brookline, but it is picked up by Cambridge's number 9. And now they've lost the ball in the chaos. Whistle is blown. And it looks like Brookline's subbing someone in here. Looks like they're going to be replacing number 5, Maisie Wilson. Didn't quite see who, though. Again, it's gotten quite dark here, a bit tough to see. Out of the scrum, Brookline takes it. Running with it, I think, was Arthur. Merlis gets it, tosses. And a quick takedown there. A bit tough to see as we got a couple fans standing up, but Brookline trying to fit through, close to the sideline, trying to stay in, and they can't. Going to be another line out for Cambridge. Very close to the try zone. If Brookline can disrupt this, they could get another score here with just under 5 minutes to go. And this one's swatted by Brookline, and they take it back, barreling forwards. Just short, but they toss it back. Somebody's got it, and it's Charbonneau who dives in for the try. Aurora Charbonneau came out of the craziness with that one. You can see a couple players fighting for it, and ultimately Charbonneau comes out of it with just a big enough hole to dive through and get the first try of the second half here with about 4 minutes to go. Caroline Hughes kicks it and sends it through. Caroline Hughes now 3 of 5 and has made 3 straight after missing her first 2. Brookline takes the lead 31-5. And now the clock is raised again by about 4 minutes. It was just 4 minutes to go. Now it's 8 minutes to go. I don't know. Okay, now the clock is down to just under 2 minutes. Anyway, drop kick from number 10 off the bounce. Running forward with it, taken down. Quick toss. And now breaking through is Nye Azzy again. She gets taken down. Toss back Johnson. Another toss. And they work it all the way out to the right. And juking around, getting to midfield. A quick extra lateral there. I believe it's Arthur who gets taken down there across midfield, hands it back. Brookline more quick tosses. Engeland barreling forward. Taken down, hands it back to Merlis. Quick toss Johnson, cuts towards the middle, giving Brookline some more room to work with. As she gets taken down around the center of the field, Brookline can go left or right. They opt to go left. And cutting around a couple of players, barreling forward is Azzy. Now over to the right, Bottaglieri. And a whistle against Cambridge. Bottaglieri takes the free ball, runs. Ball was dropped but picked up and bursting through for a big gain there. Now around the 15. Bottaglieri trying to fit up the middle, nowhere to go. But again, Brookline has options as they go to the right. Johnson toss, couple quick tosses, and an extra one there as they cut back towards the middle. That toss deflected and taken away by the Falcons as we got another whistle. We're going to set up in a scrum here, and at this point I am very glad that I didn't set up a scoreboard cam or anything because this clock keeps changing and I'm not entirely sure why. Now it's showing about 5.5 minutes to go. Insert by Cambridge and a whistle. Try again. And Cambridge does take it. Couple quick tosses out to their right. And one extra one. Very close to the sideline though. And a whistle is going to go against Brookline. And so this will be a free ball for the Falcons. (31-5). The Warriors lead the Falcons here. Number 10 walking up with it, hands it back. And an extra toss. And ball's ripped loose by Brookline. Nice defensive, or no, they called a violation. It looked like Bottaglieri had ripped it loose, but no dice. Number 10 taken down and blow the whistle there for, I think, an illegal takedown on Brookline. And I think the problem is you have to go low if you're going to tackle in rugby. So if you go too high, then they just burst through like that. As number 2 racing up with it, race it down inside the 20 out of nowhere. Out of the ruck, it's tossed back to 8. 8 barreling forward. Now Cambridge working it to the left. Quick tossing, and now taken down inside the 15. And a whistle as it's a free ball for Cambridge. Number 10 running up with it. Jukes trying to fit through, taken down just short of the try zone. Cambridge trying to barrel it forward across those last couple yards. Number 4, intercepted. Brookline took it away, and they're taking it the other way. Huge defensive play by Molly Engeland. And unfortunately for Brookline, she went over the sideline there, so it's going to be a line out for Cambridge. But a huge defensive play from Molly England just saved a try. This throw deflected again. And I think that's Ivy Wheeler that's been deflecting these lineouts. As now Brookline is going to get the line out off of that one. This one thrown wide, and it goes right to the Falcons. Number 9 picks it up, tosses back. And the ball ripped free by Brookline. Brookline takes it back around midfield. Toss back. And a quick takedown there. Merlis just running with it, tosses it back, and the toss is dropped. And that's going to give the ball back to Cambridge. And this will be a scrum insert for the Falcons. This insert, and again another whistle. And out of the scrum, it's taken by the Falcons. They take off down the left side. I think that's number 2, trying to go all the way. And I think she's going to make it for the try. So 31-10 the score, and Cambridge will get a chance to kick the conversion. I haven't the faintest clue how much time is left here because the scoreboard clock actually shows all zeros. And it had shown all zeros since before that, since before they came out of that scrum. So I haven't the faintest clue. And a big kick from number 10 is wide and no good. And I do believe that is going to be your ball game. The final score here at Russell Field, the Brookline High Warriors 31. The Cambridge Rindge and Latin School Falcons 10. Well, Brookline with that big burst of scoring after the yellow card was assessed to the Falcons really made the difference there. And now that is going to wrap things up here. Brookline led in scoring by 3 tries from Nye Azzy. Caroline Hughes good on 3 of her 5 conversion attempts to give Brookline 6 points. And then 1 try apiece from Aurora Charbonneau and Meredith Christ. Brookline improves to 2-1 on the season, while Cambridge falls to 0-3. One last note in the live chat from Isabella Barabasi saying, good job, Brookline. And thank you so much again, Isabella, for all your help in identifying players today. I know we had some struggles with that, but I really appreciate everyone who helped me out with that one. And that's going to do it for this live stream. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Remember, if you enjoyed this broadcast, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on some of my other live streams coming up. I've done, so far this spring, I've done 1 game for each of Brookline's rugby teams, 1 for boys, 1 for girls. And I have 1 more on the docket for each of them. Again, 1 boys and 1 girls. I think the girls game is going to be at Lincoln Sudbury, is the one that I'm going to be covering later this season. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Subscribing to the channel can help. If there's anything you'd like to say after the live stream is concluded, you can say it in the comments section down below. And you can also go down below to the description section of this video, where you can find the link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry. And you can also find some helpful links related to me, which you can also see in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all of that, you can email me directly with any questions, requests, or comments that you may have. And don't forget to follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. Brookline 31, Cambridge 10 from Russell Field in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.